Hi guys, welcome back to Factorio Vanilla. This is episode 20. So last time we got our furnace column set up, and between the scenes I've gone around, I've fixed a couple of things, I've rearranged a couple of belts, and I've connected to the other end. So that's all working fine now. So we're going to need to get some ore into these things, and I think one of the places we can do it is straight from this patch into there for iron, which will alleviate some of the immediate problems because iron is our big shortage at the moment. And then when we need to, we can try and get some copper in, possibly from these patches up here, or possibly from down there, or we could look at bringing it in from one of these further away patches via train, because I think long term we're going to want a train depot up here somewhere anyway, so we can actually use it as a centralised entrance point to the factory. So in order to use this safely, we are going to have to get rid of these two biter bases. And in order to do that, we are going to need armour. So I think the first thing we want to do is actually get this running so we can get some resources going. But then after that, didn't mean to press that one, I meant to press for my inventory. After that, we're going to want to build power armour, which we've already got alien artifacts, we've already got steel plates. We don't have electric engines yet, but we've got the precursor, which is standard engines. And we don't have processing units yet, but again we've got the precursor, which is red circuits. So making either of those shouldn't be too difficult. So once we get that, we'll have the ability to be shielded, have a bit more power behind us, and in general have a bit easier time clearing out some of these bases. So do we want to make armour first and then clear these, which would protect this, or do we want to clear these first using turret creep methods to then have the production safe to go make armour? I think because we're going to struggle to make the armour, let's clear these guys first using turret creep, get this rolling, and then we can have a bit more luxury and a bit more time to actually build the armour as we need to take out some of the rest of these up here and some of these which are looking awfully close. So with that in mind, let's see, we've got some turrets, we've got some ammo, not a huge amount, but it will have to do. So let's see what we can do. And they're already chasing us, which is not quite what I wanted. But fortunately the flamethrower does its job. And foolishly, I stood in the flames. And maybe start our turret creep a little bit further back, because otherwise we were not going to survive that. There you go. Now our turrets can take care of these things for us. Which frees us up a little bit to take care of the bases, and that worm could be a problem, particularly as we are on reasonably low health, and of course this one's just run out of ammo as well, so let's scoop these up and get the ammo back. Now, I think for the sake of doing this cleanly, let's just get rid of the worm that way, because with the worm dead we can then just toast that one and not worry about it too much. So this one is about to die, and just as it did, a lone spitter got me. Now is that going to set fire to the rest of the forest? Because I don't really want to take out the rest of the forest just yet. Yes it is. Let's quickly chop down some of this adjoining wood and try and isolate that fire. So now that's done, we can repair these a little bit. No, repair, not pick up boilers. Stick those back in there. And let's do the same to this other base over there on our right hand side. So how far from them are we? Probably to be safe, let's start by putting the turrets down here. And then we can always take it a little bit closer as we need to. am running short on ammo, so I might have to do this a little bit quicker than I would have liked. So that should give me enough leeway now. There you go. So that should have just taken care of them both. Yep. Hopefully this fire won't spread either. Looks like it's going out. Yep, wonderful. So if we grab these, take care of that. Now I would normally set fire to this and not worry too much about the forest, but we're already in a bit of a state with pollution reaching to various places, so let's not make things too much worse by burning this at the moment. Later on, we can burn it with impunity, but for now, let's just chop a few trees down the old-fashioned way. In the meantime, we were starting to look at technology, weren't we? So we've now got construction robots, and we can also get logistics robots in a moment. But first of all, let's get automated construction, because that will give us access to blueprints. And from there we can start to automate the construction of our factory, which means that we can make one small section, blueprint it, and then repeat it endless times. So things like building the furnace setup, which you saw in the last episode, can be done a lot more quickly from now on. And that gives us enough space to put down some mining drills. So if we run these, let's see, that looks like a good way to do it. And all of these will then go into our new furnace assembly, ready to start kicking out some much needed iron plate, which will help speed the factory up for the rest of it. That won't go there because there's no ore there. That's fine, that's not a problem. We are going to need more belt, but I can always run down and grab that in a moment if we need to. But for now, let's make sure that this path runs straight and clear through here. And we can bring it into one of our furnace insets. So we still can't actually build the robots yet, because we still need things like electric engines, but we've got the capacity to start doing things with them. In the meantime, let's grab logistics robots as well, so we can complete the set when we have the necessary materials in place. And I think we're probably going to run out of belt before we finish this, but let's run down with as much of this as possible. Take that tree out as well. I'm not sure that that's actually going to be enough to saturate the belt, so let's move it both onto there, and we can always continue the line across to this second input if we need to. Now I know that we definitely don't have enough belt left to make this finish, but we'll take it down as much as we can. And what we could do actually is just take it across to here. So it doesn't matter that it doesn't stretch all the way, it stretches far enough for what we need. Do we have enough holes to do this with? No. Do we have the iron for it? No. Do we have the copper for it? No. So we really do need to get more resources just to finish that off. I suppose we could quickly pop down our large electric pole over here, so that will at least take some of the strain. And actually, if we move it a couple of tiles over, it might even go a tile further up. Yes. So how much of this can we get operational with what we've got? Not quite all of it, but it might be enough. So as you can see, that's sending about 80% of a full line down, and we've still got a little bit more than we can pack in. Of course, that's getting split between these, which will start to work now, and then it should feed down into these as iron plate, which will run all the way down the line past our car, under the steel belt, and onto our main bus. So we need to run down the main bus anyway, because we need to find the, there they are, the medium electric poles. So any second now we should meet up with our iron coming down, which will be the first proper insert then into the second area of the main bus. Okay, so that's logistic robots finished. So what do we want to do next? Well, what have we got? What options have we got? We could do some more insert capacity and speed up our inserters even further. We could look at getting a logistics system underway, which would be useful if we're getting a bot network. It would allow us to resupply ourselves, it would allow us to supply things within the factory more easily. But I think what we probably want to do is try and get some of the equipment going to actually put into an armour suit. So let's start with batteries for now, and then we can go on from there over the next few minutes. As for this, we've now got enough power poles to complete the job of lining this up. I'll pop some lights in it in a second so you guys can see what's going on if we run past here in the dark. So where that's batteries done. Do we go for batteries Mark II now? I suppose we could do. We'll get that out of the way. Do we have any lights on us? No, it looks like we're all out. So we can only put down 2 lights really, which we'll just have to do the trick for the time being. Now, in case we have any biters coming down, we're going to want some protection up here, and we don't have any laser turrets left. We don't have the materials needed to make laser turrets anymore. So we are probably going to have to stick with just your traditional gun battery for now. And we can put a little bit of wall around them to keep them a little bit safer. And then when we get the materials again, we can upgrade those to laser turrets. So let's give them lots of ammo each. And that can then be protection for these guys. So we've now got more or less a full belt coming down here, and there's no real stoppage on here either, so that seems to be working quite well. And we've got half a belt coming down there as well. So we are putting in some, but obviously not all of what's needed. Why isn't this working? Because I've done something foolish. I've put all of these belts to insert into the furnaces and none of them to export from them. So, best way to do this is probably just to replace them all. So that's battery Mark II finished. What do we still need in terms of power hour? We could go for night vision, that's worth having. We're starting to get to the point now where most of what we need to complete the factory is researched. It's just a case of actually catching up with what we can build. There are still some final endgame products missing, but we can get those a little bit later on. So that's night vision done. Let's grab the energy shield as well. We still can't actually power any of this, so actually before we do energy shield, let's find, we've got the portable solar array there, but where is the fusion generator? Here it is. So what do we need for fusion generator? We need the portable solar panel, and then we can go into the fusion generator anyway. So that definitely seems like a good choice. And I think that's all of that row set up. Nope, there you go. I know we're not using this copper foundry yet, but we will do in the future, so let's try and make sure it's set up now so that we can use it when we want to. My mouse seems to have a mind of its own today, and it keeps jumping off where I want to click. And those ones have already been set up correctly, so that looks like it's all in place now. As you can see, we're now turning out, it might drop a little bit because these will have accumulated some over time where they weren't emptying out, but we're now outputting quite a bit of quite a bit of iron coming down here. So that will feed into our belts nicely, and I wonder if that will actually keep us at capacity for the time being. So with that in mind, what do we want to do next? Because now we've got protection up here for the newest iron ore deposit. We've got our furnaces working, so they're bringing iron in. We still haven't done anything with this iron patch, but whether we want to or whether we want to leave it for now, I think we can afford to leave it for now because this has still got plenty of reserves left. I think now might be the time to start automating things like electric engines and getting some blue circuit production underway. So electric engines require engine units, green circuits and lubricant, which that could be a little bit tricky for us because lubricant is cracked from heavy oil, which is over here somewhere. There it is. So lubricant is taken from heavy oil, and we've got plenty of heavy oil at the moment. That's not a problem. In fact, our main problem at the moment is we're not using our petroleum quickly enough, which is a rare luxury to have that. But anyway, we've got plenty of heavy oil, that's not a problem, but getting it to somewhere where we could use it could be an issue. Because let's see, we're producing our engine units there, and that's going to be difficult to get them out from. So, what do we want? We want the portable fusion reactor next. But yes, as I was saying, it could be difficult to get the engine out from there. So maybe that's not the best place to build them. Maybe we want to actually have a dedicated engine building facility somewhere closer to this, which will mean looping some of these resources back around. So what do engines actually need again? I've forgotten. They need steel, iron gear wheel and iron pipe. So steel could be brought in from here. Iron to be turned into pipe and gears could be brought in from here. And we could continue this down and actually bring our green circuits in from here as well. So I think that would fulfill the need for steel, iron there, and it would fulfill the need for the engine units and the green circuits as well if we bring those down. So if we then produce them closer to here, we mean that we don't have as much work to do with moving the heavy oil somewhere to be cracked and turned into lubricant and we don't lose as much through pressure over time. So we've actually got a fairly nice space here to do it in as well. So I think that's worth doing. Let's run the risk with fire for some of these trees. I think I might cut a fire break. And actually we're coming up to the end of an episode anyway, so I think off camera I'll cut a fire break, and then in the next episode we can relocate our engines, start making electric engines as well, and get that underway. So that's it for now. You've been watching Factorio Vanilla. This was episode 20. Come back next time.